how's it going? For today's video, I wanted to bring you a review and a very first impressions on the Clarisonic Sonic makeup brush. This is a little bit nuts because the Clarisonic is a tool that we use to remove our makeup and exfoliate our skin. And instead of removing makeup, they now came out with this brush head that you can attach to your device that can actually allow you to apply makeup. I'm gonna compare this to other makeup brushes, and then I'm going to try this out with everything from primers to foundations to some cream color products and even some thicker consistency products. To see how this works. But when I saw that they came out with this, I thought this was very intriguing because it's supposed to save product. It's supposed to be a lot easier to apply to your skin. And when it comes to acne prone skin, my favorite tool ever is the Beauty Blender. That's just the way it is. Oh, and this is already breaking on me. I have to jerry-rig this. When I saw that they had this at Sephora, I thought I'm going to try this out. It's $35, which is about what you would expect to pay for any normal makeup brush. But the difference is that if you don't already have the Clarisonic, it could be a bit more expensive because you would need to buy the device as well. So I'm going to give this a first impressions because there are other makeup brushes out there that apply makeup. Most of the other ones spin in a continual circle. The difference between the Clarisonic is that the brush head oscillates, which means it goes back and forth. So it doesn't create these stripes on your face, or so they say. So this is the brush head I currently have on, which is the acne brush head, and I am going to reassemble and pop on this makeup brush head and then show you up close what the differences are between this and a regular brush. Let's zoom us in here. Also, no makeup, what's good? This is my skin, so I do have some texture that I'll be covering, some facial hair because hormones, life, and then I have these breakouts here, but those are kind of always there. These are the typical foundation brushes that one would apply with. The EcoTools regular foundation brush, I find that these leave a lot of streaks on the skin, which I'm not a huge fan of. This one is actually shedding, and I know that for my actual Clarisonic, sometimes these bristles shed as well. So this is also very, very small in comparison, and if this starts to shed, I feel like you wouldn't have a lot of brush hairs to work with. This is a regular Soho brush that's more stippled, a Tarte brush, which is very thick and dense, and this Bare Minerals one, which is called a smooth face foundation brush. And I would say that out of all of these brushes, the Bare Minerals is the closest to the Clarisonic. Actually very, very small as well when you compare this to a larger face brush. Now again, this is meant to be used only with liquid products. You are not supposed to use it with any powder or anything else. So that being said, I'm going to throw back my hair and let's start off with some primers. As you know, I recently went out into the sun, and so my new foundation shade is Tomato. And to combat that, I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Green HD Primer. And another thing that they say on the Clarisonic website and on Sephora.com is not to apply product directly to the brush. Apply it to your hand, apply it to your face first, and then use this brush to kind of blend it in. I also am kind of questioning if I'm supposed to be putting on, you know, cream blush or contour, how that's going to work, because won't those colors all mix and just make me look like a hot mess? I don't know, but I guess we're gonna find out. So this is attached to my Mia 2. I am just going to start this up and start blending into the skin. What they say about application is barely touch this to your face. It actually kind of tickles. This is kind of weird. All I know is that it makes me feel like I am being tickled on my face by a unicorn, and I'm into it. It's really dispersing the product well. I think that it would be faster if I did this with a beauty blender or with my hands. But at least I'm color correcting some of that redness, and I'm already seeing a little bit of fallout, but it's not terrible. Next, let's move on to foundation. I'm going to be using the NYX Cosmetics Total Control Foundation. This is a liquid drop foundation. It's honestly one of my absolute favorites. It's $14, but it literally works like a $50 foundation. And what's nice is that you can add drops to add coverage. So this is what I've been using. This is what I've been loving. It has replaced a lot of the higher end brands that I've been using currently. And instead of dropping this right onto the brush like you're normally recommended to do, I'm going to drop this right onto my hand and apply to my skin, just so that I can test out the Clarisonic the way it's supposed to go. So I'm taking this, dotting it onto my skin and some of my problem areas. We all got those problem areas. So next, let's try this. I like that it spreads product very nicely, and it does feel much more gentle than a beauty blender or than a regular brush. I also do not notice brush streaks, which I was expecting to see. Some people in the reviews on Sephora.com said that it really did a great job at filling in their lines and wrinkles. So depending on what foundation, I'm sure that can change. For me, the NYX Cosmetics one has been pretty good, but I don't see anything miraculous when it comes to my acne scarring or anything like that. If anything, I feel like this is kind of thinning out the actual formula of the foundation, which is great for every day and great for a natural look. But let's see if we can build this up and add a little bit more coverage. And you know, I know that I'm not supposed to add product directly to the brush, but I'm actually going to, because that's how this foundation works best for me on a regular brush. So I'm just going to drop that on because I can, and I'm the boss of my own life and I can do what I want to do. I think it actually covers better this way. You know, I am really impressed, however, because this does do a lot of the blending for you. If I wanted to get my skin this even with a regular beauty blender, it would probably take me, you know, a good 5 to 10 minutes. So this is nice. I'm also a little bit nervous to bring this too close to my eye. Do you like what happened? Are you impressed by me? I bet you are. I'm afraid to get these little brush hairs too close to my eye. Kind of feels like there's an earthquake happening in my eyeball, but it's not terribly uncomfortable, which is good. And seeing as this does seem to sheer out the foundation a little bit, I am going to try this with a much thicker foundation. So this is the Dermablend Cover Cream. You saw this in a pancake video tutorial. We tried it out and I showed you how to apply pancake makeup. This is probably the thickest of the thick that you can use, but I'm gonna just use this right on this scarring that I have and see if we are able to do anything differently. So I'm taking this, warming it up and emulsifying it on my hand. I'm just going to apply this with my fingers to those little acne scars. What's also nice is that this doesn't dry out the foundation. I really like the Beauty Blender because it keeps that moisture intact, but this brush doesn't seem to dry out the foundation either, which is pretty cool. And this actually works pretty well. As you can see, I'm blending out those lines and that edge, and it's actually really seamless. So I would say that if you're trying to get really good coverage, this may not be the best tool for you. But if you are looking to blend, you know, and get a very nice natural look, then this is absolutely one of the easiest ways to blend your cosmetics. I have some under eye concealer here from Makeup Forever, and see how well this works. What I don't like is that there's only one brush available, so there's not options if you do have a bigger face, a thinner face, if you want to do more precise contouring or some more precise color correction. It just kind of drags it and disperses it. It just kind of shoves everything into place, like me when I'm packing my suitcase. So for scarring and textured skin, it doesn't do a lot to really fill in, but again, it is really good at blending and dispersing that product. So now I'm going to try it over this problem area that I have. This is really the only live and active acne that I've still currently got, and I am just going to use foundation and drop this on that area. And it is very awkward to try to drop foundation upside down on your own neck, for those who were wondering. Well, there you have it. That is one coat of the NYX Cosmetics foundation, which was about 4 or 5 drops. And that's where we're at. Next, let's test this out with some liquid products, such as liquid blush. Now, if you've got acne, you know how I feel about liquid products. I feel like they take off a lot of the layers that I've already applied. This is a brand new one from NARS. I'm really obsessed with it, and this is probably one of the better liquid formulas that I've ever used. But at the same time, using a liquid formula with an oscillating brush, this is either gonna be genius or an absolute mistake. So if you have problems with liquid products like I do, this would be my top recommendation. Like for instance, I love Benefit Cosmetics. You'll know that, but their Benetint blush, I have just never gotten the hang of it, and I don't know if I ever will. just because it's like streaky and gross and it just doesn't stay on, and then me blending it out literally removes whatever's underneath. So I'm going to tap this on, and then, I mean, do I wipe this off? I have this good looking towel here. Look, it's a Christmas towel. Aren't I in season? I'm so normal, aren't I? This is actually probably the easiest time I've ever had applying a liquid blush or liquid blush product. Again, it really shears it out, so as you can see, the color is much different. It's not as potent, and that's to be expected to a certain extent, but I feel like this is a little bit more excessive. But hey, at least this means that maybe I can actually start wearing some liquid blush products. The problem is that with dipped texture, sometimes liquid products can settle into them, so whatever sorcery this NARS Cosmetics plus Clarisonic is, I'm into it. So, let's do that on the other side. Guys, I'm really excited. I feel like I can actually use liquid products now. In the past, liquid products have always been such a nightmare for me. So the fact that this makes me look somewhat human, and the fact that I can actually get away with this is making me so excited. I feel like I just leveled up. I don't know how I'm supposed to clean this off properly. Oh, do you like this? I use this for painting my face or painting regular paintings. Hashtag messy life. This is the Benefit Girl Meets Pearl. It's a nice iridescent highlighter, like so. I'm going to take that on, I'm going to stripe that onto the highlights of my face, and then we're gonna see how this blends it out. I'm gonna go a little bit here by the cheeks, and if you have acne, you know how I feel about highlighters, so make sure that you're only putting them on those smooth surfaces. And for anyone with scarring, that is no bueno. Let's try blending this out. Ooh, no me gusta. Do you see this? So the Sonic Action in combination with highlighting product, with a liquid highlighting product, has just accurately removed any of the foundation that I put on my nose. Let's see how it works here on the cheeks. Yeah, on the cheeks it works fine. Right here on my nose, let's zoom you in even more. Do you see that? It took off a layer of my makeup, and now my nose just looks like I got even more sunburnt than I actually did. So that being said, let's test this out with the very final product. This is the Smashbox Step-by-Step Contour Stick. It is a lot thicker than any of these more liquid products. So I'm just going to stripe this onto my face, because I feel like if I were doing this with a beauty blender, I would be dragging a little bit more, where here I'm literally just kind of going in mini circles like it says. And look at that. It has blended it out to the point that I've almost lost color. Whereas normally this would be kind of like a nice golden on me if I used it with a beauty blender. But if you are looking to maintain the integrity of color or going for something that you want to use during the evening, I just don't know if it is the best option for you. I also feel like for these smaller parts, like my nose, the brush is just too large to get in there. So I would definitely say that I would need to use multiple brushes, just the way I would use multiple brushes in a traditional makeup application. It does blend extraordinarily well in hardly any time though. So that's the finished look, but I feel like I need to reapply foundation to my nose, and I feel like my contour just disappeared. Let's try to add a little bit more of this. See, because if I did a beauty blender, I'd be dragging down in that kind of a motion, and I feel like I would still maintain the color integrity. Whereas with this, it's just like, goodbye. Like America Online when you used to log off back in the early 90s. So that is the finished look. Now, what are my overall thoughts? This is a really cool makeup brush, and like I said, if you are looking to blend excellently, this is definitely something that would work for you. But if you're looking to use this to blend in contour or blend in color, the fact that it kind of helps to erase all of the different colored products that I put on, tells me that unless you're going for a very natural look, this probably won't work for you. And again, it is a $35 brush. What I do love about this is that it's antibacterial and antimicrobial. So just like the acne brush head, it's not supposed to harbor the growth of bacteria, which means that if you're an acne sufferer like me who doesn't clean your brushes as regularly as she should, this will probably help a lot when it comes to bacteria. The other thing is that if you do not already have a Clarisonic, you will have to buy the full device, which is what, $100 or a couple $100 depending on which model you get. And I feel like if you're purchasing that for a makeup brush for a couple $100, it doesn't make sense. And just to show, this is the Smart Profile. This is the other one that I really like for skin cleansing. So regardless of which Clarisonic you have, it should work on those. But it's also adding a feature to the Clarisonic, and in that case it makes me feel like I'm getting more for my investment. But that is it. That is the total look. Let me zoom you back out now that you got to know my pores up close and personal. And so this is the final look, and as you can see, I mean, my skin tone is a lot more even because I applied cosmetics, but it really doesn't look like I applied blush and highlight and contour. Like, it's barely there. So again, if you want a very simple application that is very natural and blended expertly, absolutely go for it. But if you don't already own the Clarisonic, or if you've got some major acne to cover, I don't know if this is going to be any better than a regular brush and layering system for you. But for now, those are my thoughts. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you found it helpful. If you have any other products that you want me to review or try out, or just screw around with, let me know and I will bring them to you. And of course, if you have any acne questions, any skincare questions, or any other video requests, leave them down in the comments below. We will turn them into a video. And also tell me if you've ever experimented with liquid or cream products and if you like them over your acne prone skin or not. Because am I the only acne prone person who finds that they just literally don't work? Anyways, I love you guys. I hope that your day is as gorgeous as you are. Always remember to be beautiful and give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful. I love you guys, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Love you guys. Bye. This is a kitty cameo. Pumpkin. What do you think of liquid makeup products on acne-prone skin? Did you know that cats get blackheads? It's actually scientifically proven that cats can get blackheads here on their ears. Who knew that cats got acne? You and I are a lot more similar than you thought, huh, kitty?